Oklahoma Sportscene on the road again at Bricktown Brewery, South Peoria and Tulsa, Oklahoma. Guys, got the ale in front of us. Toast all the viewers out there and our special guest, Guerin, the columnist of Tulsa World. Great to have him on the show finally. Before we get talking sports, though, Gil, we have something about this special tree here that Bricktown has.
All over the Bricktown breweries have a tree, a Christmas tree, that has a card in it. And if you come in and purchase a card, anytime a service veteran or a veteran comes in, they'll give the card to the serviceman, and his dinner will be free on the card. So you can come to any Bricktown, buy a card, they'll put it on the tree, and next time a serviceman comes in, they'll give him the card. What a great deal.
And December 13th, this Thursday, remember now they're going to tap their special Christmas ale. Pints are just going to be $1. You have to keep the commemorative glass. We have commemorative glass here, and you had a chance to empty that and then keep it yourselves. Drawings every 30 minutes for prizes. A lot going on. The Christmas ale tap this coming Thursday, December 13th, all the Bricktown breweries. Big show, Coach. A lot going on today. We've got, again, Guerin, our special guest for Tulsa World. We'll have David Alexander, the head football coach of the champion Broken Arrow Tigers. Mike Melega talking to the baseball. Then Trinidad here, too, right, with a big announcement.
He'll have a big announcement for us, and I think everybody will be excited about it.
And Steve Gully, the TU championship cross-country coach. Of course, our Remington race report as well. But let's get underway. Guerin, we've tried to have you here all football season.
I know.
But your Mondays are all spent in Norman, of course, at the OU press conferences.
You know I would pick you guys over Lincoln Riley if I could, right? I'd much rather talk to you and hear from you than all respect for Lincoln Riley. How can I not have respect given the season the Sooners have had and the Heisman Trophy that certain quarterback just won?
Well, let's start with the big announcement in New York, of course, this past Saturday of Kyler Murray becoming the 7th Oklahoma Sooner to win the greatest prize in college football, the Heisman Trophy. Your thoughts on that, Guerin?
I'm still sort of amazed that he won it, given the fact that Tua Tagovailoa spent the whole year as the runaway favorite, the odds-on, and he seemed to build his candidacy and his resume as the weeks continued, no matter how well Murray played. Chris, I didn't think there was any catching him. And then it comes down to really the final weekend. Murray has a really strong game against Texas, avenges a loss to the Longhorns, and he gets a break. And the fact that Tua does not play well against Georgia in the SEC championship and then leaves the game for Jalen Hurts to win. And I really think that swung the majority of voters that last weekend.
I think they said that only 10% of the votes were in before the game.
Right.
So that meant 90% of the people watched the game and saw what everybody had. And I just think that there was no question that he was a formidable Division I quarterback, but Kyler Murray was just a little bit better.
It speaks well, guys, for Murray, of course, for the accomplishment, but I think just as well for Riley. I mean, how does a guy who developed quarterbacks like this, everyone talks about his play calling genius, and I think that's been established, but what about his just to work specifically with that position? You remember Mayfield and Murray when they were at Texas Tech and Texas A&M respectively, didn't exactly put up all-star numbers. They had a lot. They made big plays and threw touchdowns, but they also had interceptions. That obviously has stopped since Riley got a hold of him, and it's been an incredible job.
Well, I think one of the things too to think about, both of those guys were transfers into the system. They were not recruited into the system, and so for him to be able to mold them into what his offensive philosophy was, I think was outstanding. Of course, it fit them very well.
No pressure next year if you're Austin Kendall, right? Or Tanner Mordecai or Spencer Rattler.
But, of all of the quarterbacks that we have seen, I can never remember one that could do the things that Murray does. I mean, he can go right straight at a tackler, and the tackler, where'd he go?
Yeah.
He's gone. I've never seen anything like that.
First in NCAA history to pass more than 300 yards, run for more than 60 yards in a game all season.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Well, Tua said when they asked him about what do you think about his game, he said he can beat you with his legs, he can beat you with his arm, he can beat you with his brain.
Yeah.
Because he reads the defense so quickly, and his release is so strong and so quick. I mean, it's hard to defend. It's amazing, really.
Let's talk about our college football team seasons, of course. I guess starting again with Oklahoma with their 12-1, again their fourth straight Big 12 championship, 8-1 in the conference here. Your impression of the OU football team?
Well, it's been an entertaining season, hasn't it? With all of the games that they had to sort of pull out on the strength of Murray and Riley and the offense. You struggle with the likes of Kansas. You have to hold on for dear life at West Virginia. Same thing at Texas Tech. Oklahoma State in Bedlam for sure. I mean, even dating back to the Army game, and who saw that coming? So it's been a season of drama, and it's thrilling, I think, but also a little nerve-wracking, I think, if you're an OU fan. But I didn't know if this team had the goods to be a playoff team. I really didn't before the season began. I thought they'd lost too much really on both sides of the ball, Chris. And so I think it's a notable accomplishment for them to be back in the Final Four.
You know, when you take a look at what has happened, do you think that there are too many bowl games where all of these teams are going that played
right
under 500 in conference play, but for the season they were 500?
Yeah.
Do you think that they deserve going to a bowl?
It's tough, JV. There are a lot of watered down games, aren't there? And I think that's part of the reason why you're seeing guys skipping these bowl games now. Like Will Greer just announced at West Virginia so that he can prepare for his draft stock. And I really don't blame a guy for wanting to take care of himself in a game that not too many people really care about. But I know also that it's a reward for the kids. It's treated as sort of almost vacation, especially when you are 7-5 and there's not a whole lot more you can do to pad your record. They're treated like kings. They're put up in resorts. They're given a spending spree. And so I see that side of it as well, but from a fan's perspective and from a journalism perspective, I think we could do without maybe half of them, to be honest, at this point.
Frustrating season for Oklahoma State.
Oh, yeah.
6-6. Of course, they're going to play in the Liberty Bowl against my alma mater, Missouri Tigers. But boy, they beat the good teams and struggle with it. It's hard to believe.
Yeah, well, you say 6-6. The thing I keep going back to, guys, is 3-6, and that's what they finished in the Big 12, and that just doesn't cut it. I don't think if you're Mike Gundy and you've reeled off a bunch of 10-win seasons, you should be above 3-6.
Yeah.
And if you use the tiebreaker to sort of separate teams in the final standings, they finished ninth. They finished ninth in the conference. Mm-hmm. That doesn't sit well, I don't think, with their fan base.
Well, I think the one thing that we have to look at is the NCAA, because they have to sanction the bowl game. And they've sanctioned 40 bowl games. Right. That's why we have so many teams in.
Right.
We need to pull that back. And I tell you what, it's all about money. It's all about TV money. I can remember being on the football rules committee and sitting in a room with 3 Division I guys, 3 Division II guys, 3 Division III guys, and the TV network sitting behind us while we were going through the rules. Yeah. And finally I asked the guy from Carson Newman sitting next to me, I said, "What's this?" He said, "Wait till the first intermission. You'll see." Wow. And what was over was the timing. Our games were going longer than 3 hours and 30 minutes. Well, that's how they sell their advertising, is 3 hours and 30 minutes. Anything over that. And the game they always brought up was the Texas Tech Oklahoma game that went 4 hours and 45 minutes because it cuts into their avails. So they're going to make the decisions, and the more money you can get with the bowl game, I mean, that's how it's going to be.
Guys, talk about TU, 3-9, 2-6 in the conference. Prospect 9 starters coming back on defense. Quarterback Boomer got better as the year went on. They got that transfer from Baylor. TU's
Smith,
prospects,
Yeah, it's disappointing, obviously, to go 3-9 after you had a even worse 2017 if you're Philip Montgomery and you were just 2 years ago with Dane Evans and Kevin Lucas in that group. What you got to hope is that the defense stays as solid as it was this past year. It's not often that we talk about a TU football team that really led with defense. Well, that was the case this past year, and job well done by Bill Young and his players. So if they can cement the quarterback situation with either Boomer or Smith, and then continue to play that kind of defense, I think they're poised for a bounce back next year.
And a couple thoughts on some high school football championships that were played this past week, Coach. Congratulations to Sperry and the Shattuck Indians winning their championships.
Sperry was a great win. Of course, it was a sad story with Beggs and what they had to go through to get there. But what two really good high school football teams, and what a game.
I guess big high school football news here is that Dax Hill has switched commitments.
Yeah, how about that? Still hoping that he ends up in our backyard so we could see him play a little bit more. Yeah. And I'm, you know me, guys. I'm partial to the Hornets, and so I'd love for Dax to do like Justice did, and other Booker T kids have done, to go to Stillwater or Norman. But who could blame a defensive player and a safety in particular for wanting to go play for an NFL factory? That's kind of what Alabama has become under Nick Saban.
Right. So said no to Michigan, going now to Alabama. It looks like. Got to talk a little quick basketball here too.
Yeah,
what an incredible weekend for the University of Tulsa. Knocked out 2 Big 12 teams, huh?
That was wow. I was lucky to be at both games, and I was just remarking to Don Tomkowski before coming on about how cool it was to be in the Reynolds Center, where it was nearly full and the student section was lively. And I think in both games, OSU and K-State, the crowd made a big difference, and that's how it should be, I think, when it comes to Tulsa basketball.
Undefeated in the Big 12.
That's right. I love it. Exactly. We're going to catch some of that excitement. Trevor McDaniel was there for that Oklahoma State game and has some of the excitement for us. Let's take a listen.
We play like a young team. We do. We play in big ups and downs. We're not going to all of a sudden at some trade deadline or go pick up a couple of older vets and figure out how to take care of the ball better. The kids we have to get better.
About playing these types of games, the two things it does for you: prepares you for conference play, and if you have an opportunity to play in it and be in that large bid, you have a chance. You play good quality team. When we were struggling scoring. He came off the bench and made some big shots and got us going a little bit. He's a valuable guy. I said this after the Utah game. I think the one thing that came out of that, game offensively, because we play good defense, was Jeriah looked like he's getting his rhythm, and is an important guy for us, but he's starting to get his rhythm.
So college basketball is starting to take center stage now. Some big games coming up, Guerin. December 15th, the Oklahoma Sooners come here to the BOK to host USC.
And they're playing pretty well. They're off to a good start, which is interesting. They lose Trae Young, and it seems like there's a little bit better chemistry, a little bit better team ball being played, which I think Lon Kruger was counting on. And they're one of the early surprises, I think, of the season. Just waxed Wichita State at the Chesapeake in Oklahoma City. That was an impressive win.
JV, always look forward to the Mayor's Cup. Oral Roberts and Tulsa. That game is coming up at ORU December 22nd.
Well, that's always one of the great games is held here in Tulsa anytime they play. And it seems like in the past, the one that is favored don't win it. The other one comes along to win. So it'll be exciting to watch it. But I thought TU really looked good last week in defeating the two Big 12 teams that they did.
Yeah. And, of course, we've got the Bedlam Wrestling.
That's right.
On the December 9, which is hopefully, that was not a good night for OU.
41-2 Oklahoma State.
41-2.
That's a powerful program.
2 points. OU got 2.
2 is a draw. So, I mean, they didn't win a match.
Wow.
That's amazing.
We can't let you leave without looking ahead to the college football playoffs. Of course, December 29th, Oklahoma Sooners will be at the Orange Bowl to take on number 1 Alabama. That game on ESPN at 7 o'clock Tulsa time. And earlier in the afternoon, it'll be at the Cotton Bowl, AT&T Stadium in Dallas, where it'll be number 2 Clemson, number 3 Notre Dame.
I like Clemson over Notre Dame. That's a little easier call. Yeah. I think that the Tigers have a little bit too much, especially at the line of scrimmage against the Irish. Look credit Brian Kelly for the year that he's turned in. Chris, I'd like to think that OU can make it interesting against Alabama.
Can they outscore them?
That's going to be key. And if they're going to outscore them, they're going to need Marquise Brown to be healthy.
Yeah.
A lot of talk about Kyler Murray winning the Heisman and everything, but the real story, I think, between now and that game is can Brown heal from his foot injury?
What's the latest?
We don't know. We haven't seen much of Lincoln Riley outside of his trip through New York. And so when he comes home, maybe he'll have an update for everyone. But they've got to have him on the field to keep up with Tua in that offense.
Yeah. Well, it looked bad, too, because when he was on the sideline, even the president came down of the university and consoled him, So hopefully it's not broken and he'll be able to heal up. But, I don't know. I think the same thing, Guerin. I think that Alabama has not seen the kind of offense that Oklahoma runs. Mm-hmm. They don't run that in the SEC. And they don't have the speed at quarterback and at wide receiver if Hollywood is available.
Yeah.
All I want for Christmas is Oklahoma to play Notre Dame in the championship
That would
game.
be something, wouldn't it?
Wow. Would that be something to see? That'd be incredible, wouldn't it? My gosh. And, of course, already talk has started. Will Lincoln Riley be the head football coach at Oklahoma next year? A lot of NFL teams talking about him, of course.
Yeah, there's a good reason. They've sort of meshed finally college concepts into the NFL, especially with the year that Mahomes is having with the Chiefs. Everyone's going to come after him. It's just a matter of what Riley decides to do. And I think, Chris, also not just who comes after him, but what the Sooners end up doing in the playoff.
Yeah.
If they win a national title, well, maybe his head goes a different direction in terms of accomplishing what he's wanted. Outside of that, though, I can't believe that he wants just a 2-year run as Bob Stoops' successor.
Got a gift card for you here. But better than that, we have dinner for you here, too.
Oh, beautiful.
Come on in. Molly Wesley, assistant manager here at the Bricktown Brewery in South Pierre. Molly,
oh, my goodness.
What do we have here for us, Molly?
It's the grilled cheese with mac and cheese, ham, and tomato soup.
One of their great Bricktown comfort food twisted ones here. Also part of their menu here for twisted. Jump in. That's yours.
Yeah, look at, oh, man.
Also, they have incredible, you got to try this sometime. The braised short rib is unbelievable here. That's true comfort food. Also have then the it's called Rocky's Turkey Reuben. So join us and don't forget again, the Christmas ale, that's coming up. They'll tap that on December 13th. You can come here and get a pint for $1. So, Gary, great to have you.
I'm going to have this polished off before you go off.
Enjoy that. We'll get back with more here. David Alexander, the head football coach of the 6A1 state champion Broken Arrow Tigers, will join us right after this. Oklahoma Sportscene wants to welcome our newest title sponsor, SNB Burger Joints, the home of fresh-made gourmet burgers and sliders, great sides, hand-dipped milkshakes, root beer and soda floats, and delicious homemade pies. All served with a fun and friendly staff, and we feature a full-service bar with over 65 beers and our unique Bloody Marys. SNB Burger Joint in the Oklahoma City area and coming soon to Tulsa. There's the historic gold ball, the 6A1 championship of the state of Oklahoma 2018. It's historic because it's never been done in over 100 years Broken Arrow High School football until this guy did it. David Alexander, head coach. Coach, congratulations on the championship.
Thank you, Mr. Lincoln. I appreciate it.
What a run. Talk about your season with the Tigers.
Well, it was an incredible season. You know, when our schedule came out 6 months before the season, I see Union, Mansfield, Texas, Owasso, and then Jinx in our first 4 games. I'm like, I just hope we get out of that stretch with all our kids healthy.
Sure.
And then to come out of that stretch 4-0, I knew we had a special group of kids. And, we were blessed to stay healthy, and we just got better and better as the season went on. It was a really fun season.
Well, here's something that went through my mind in watching the game. The opening play of the game when Jinx goes
sure
80 yards.
What went through your mind?
You know what? I wasn't phased one bit, Coach, because I'd seen our kids how they had reacted all year. Now in previous years, even when I was there and before, the kids in Broken Arrow, oh no, here it goes again. I actually had some old friends of mine tell me that. They were sitting in the stands and oh no, another Broken Arrow Jinx game. But our kids every week surprised me with their resiliency. And you know what? They kicked off to us. We drove down the field. They had missed the extra point. They kicked off to us. We drove down the field. We're winning 7-6.
Wow. You go through a 13-0 season.
Right.
You had some times where
that's right.
You were lucky.
That's right.
Rather than
no doubt.
More skill.
That's right.
What do you think a turning point was when you knew that you had a chance to win the state championship?
Well, I knew the kids were different. We played Union right off the front, and Broken Arrow has had almost zero success against Union. I think the record was 1-32 in the last 33 games. Wow. I may have missed one or something. In that game, we got the lead going into the start of the fourth quarter. Union has the ball at our 20-yard line, right? And that's the tipping point, typically, in that game. It's always been. And the very next play, we intercept the pass in the end zone, and we take the ball and we go down and score. Now we're up 2 scores against the Union team in the fourth quarter, a place that very, very, very few Broken Arrow teams have ever been. Mm-hmm. At that point right there, I said, we might have something here that's kind of special.
That's great. That battle you had in the semifinals with the defending state champion, Coach Blankenship's Owasso Rams.
Well,
wow.
It's the old axiom of really tough to beat a team twice.
Yeah.
It really holds true. The team that wins the first game, right? That other team is now they've got a bigger chip on the shoulder. The coaches work a little harder, right? And we all know what Coach Blankenship's capable of doing, right? His resume speaks for himself. Sure. And he had those Owasso Rams fired up and ready to play. And it took everything we had to go in the fourth quarter and finally put some points on the board and win the football game.
What do you think the outlook looks for the future?
Well, the outlook's great, Coach. Right at the school board, I was at the school board meeting that they recognized the football team, and our superintendent said something I'm going to steal. Every season for the last 100 years, right? The question going into the season was, Coach, at Broken Arrow, can you beat Jinx or can you beat Union?
Yeah.
Right? The question from starting last Friday on is, Coach Alexander or the future coaches, can we win another state championship?
There you go.
Right? So, we only lose about half of our starters. So we've got a really good group coming back next year.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
That's the thing that went through my mind, because it seems like once you win a state championship, the kids you lose, even though they were just outstanding, but the others coming in, they want to be as good as they were.
Well, you're right, Mr. Haney. After we started off the season 4-0, right? And the rest of those district games, we went in as favorites, right? Heavy favorites on most of them. And so we talk to our kids every week about, okay, those first 4 games, that is now the expectation level. That's the level of effort. That's the level of execution. That's what a Broken Arrow Tiger is supposed to look like on Friday nights. And they did not disappoint. We had 4 games on the west side of the state. You know, we had 2-hour bus rides.
Yeah.
And I kept waiting for one of those bus rides. We'd get over there and we'd be flat. We wouldn't have any emotion. But the kids were just excited to go compete on Friday nights and go play football games. And I can't say enough about really that group of seniors deserves most of this credit.
Coach, we talk about this because our show also is statewide, goes over to Oklahoma City. I know the frustration the Oklahoma City schools have.
Of course.
Mustang might be their year and stuff.
Right.
What is the difference here? Is it just our feeder programs, our facilities? What's the difference to the east side?
Yeah, well, I think it starts from the ground up, right?
Yeah.
Our youth programs, and you were in on the beginning of that when it started, right? Our youth programs, those kids are tied to Union, right? They wear the split U on their helmet.
Yeah.
The BA kids wear BAs on their helmet. On the west side of the state, they have a great youth program, but they're not tied to the school system. So there'll be a kid from Edmond Memorial, a kid from Edmond Santa Fe, a kid from Mustang, a kid from Yukon on a team.
Yeah.
Right? And they might have a Dallas Cowboy helmet on. Right?
Yeah.
And so you need to start there. And then, it grows up. Some of those coaches, most of the head coaches on the west side, right, are still in the classroom 5 hours a day.
Yeah.
Right? Alan at Jinx and Bill, when he was at Union, they were the first 2 head coaches to not be in the classroom full time.
They were the second and third.
Yeah.
J.W. Emerson was the third.
Hey, by the way, I loved J.W. Emerson.
Yeah.
He was coaching at Union when I was coming through high school. I love that man. And so when I got the job at Broken Arrow, right, they said, okay, Coach Alexander, you don't need to be in the classroom anymore, right? When Coach Blankenship got the job at Owasso, they let him hire a strength coach, and they let him out of the classroom. The head coach didn't have to be in the classroom anymore. And so the West Side guys are just a little bit behind in that.
JB, you know about his background at TU, and of course, and his Philadelphia Eagle NFL time as well.
Well, that always goes back
Sure.
to the period of time when you were there.
Right.
And the people that had so
Right.
much respect for you.
Yeah.
I think that carried over when you were an assistant coach at Jinx,
Right.
because they certainly looked with great things that you were doing.
I was very, very lucky. I played for a man at Tulsa named John Cooper. Right.
Yeah.
That's just a great, great human being. And he was the first coach that I had that really, he deflected all praise and accepted all criticism. And I learned a lot from that.
82 to 86, right?
Yeah, 82 to 86. We won a lot of football games. We beat some really good football teams. We beat Oklahoma State a couple times. We beat Air Force and Kansas. Won a lot of football games. Really proud of my time there.
Out of the NFL, the Philadelphia Eagles, New York Jets. What was your playing weight in the NFL?
I played about 285 pounds. When I got in the NFL in 1987, we had one player on our team that was over 300. Right, that was Reggie White.
Oh, sure.
About 10 years later, every lineman in the NFL was over 300 pounds except myself.
Your high school lineman at Broken Arrow. Big too.
We've got an offensive lineman now that's 302.
Well, we're going to have to fatten you up here. This is the Bricktown Brewery. We have something special for you here, Coach.
All right.
And serve you dinner here.
Your
And
Bricktown card.
you have a card.
All right.
Come back
Thank
here with
you,
your wife,
Coach.
Kathy, and enjoy it. Take a look at this, Coach. This is their famous short rib dinner here, part of their comfort food recipe.
Wow.
Served with a rich brown sauce on mashed potatoes there and green beans. So, Coach, grab the tools there, jump in there. I'm going to also tell you about, by the way, 'tis the season here. They have a $5 bounce back on gift cards, also promotional gift cards as well. And don't forget, coming up on Thursday, we'll be having tapping the Christmas ale here. You don't want to miss that. All the Bricktown breweries across the state. Coach, jump in there. Enjoy your dinner here.
This plate will be clean in just a couple minutes.
David Alexander, the head football coach of the 6A1 champion, first time in history, Broken Arrow Tigers. The gold ball here to prove it. Again, Coach, enjoy it. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you, Chris.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Welcome to Jimmy's Egg. Come on in.
For more than 30 years, Jimmy's Egg has been starting people's day off right with hot, fresh, made-to-order food. Our eggs are fresh, cracked to order every time, and there are over 40,000 ways to craft your own omelet. With signature favorites like our meat lover's skillet or decadent cinnamon roll pancakes, you won't leave hungry. Breakfast and lunch is available every day from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., so stop in today and let our friendly staff serve you.
Stop by and see us sometime.
At Rogers State University, we keep things personal. It all starts here.
We make sure our graduates get the most out of their education.
RSU has campuses in Claremore, Bartlesville, and Pryor, with on-campus housing and a wide variety of programs to suit your needs.
It all starts here.
Rogers State University.
At the Bricktown Brewery in South Peoria and Tulsa, Oklahoma, for Oklahoma Sportscene taping. And of course, you know we have to think baseball this time of year already. Mike Melega is here, of course, the president and general manager of the defending Texas League champion Tulsa Drillers. Got his beer here ready for baseball.
Absolutely,
Mike?
absolutely. I'm missing all the beers at the baseball winter meetings. I'm to be here with you guys. I canceled my trip.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, you bet. I'd rather be here with you guys, so thank you for the brew.
Well, tell us what's going on in the winter in baseball in Tulsa.
Oh my gosh, well, we're getting ready for it next year. Constantly talking to our manager Scott Hennessy that you guys got to meet.
Great guy.
You know, starting to see how the team's going to be shaped up. A lot's going to happen here over these next few days in Las Vegas at the baseball winter meetings. Dodgers are going to be active. A lot of driller players that may be coming back to Tulsa are being mentioned in some trade deals. So I think the Dodgers are going to be active. It's going to have an impact on the Tulsa club, but more importantly, it's going to have an impact on the big league club. And if they can bring down a Corey Kluber or a top line pitcher, that's really what was missing for them. I think that's what they need.
Yeah.
So how many returners do you think you'll have?
You know, talking to Scott, most of our team got put together a little bit late, you know, in July and August. And the last discussion I had, if things remained the same, we'd have 4 of our 5 starters back likely. Our top 4 starters, too. So that would be a tremendous asset for us to start the season. DJ Peters, who led the league in home runs, led the Drillers in home runs last year, he'll be back with us. 2 of our 4 infielders will be back into us. Starting catcher Cabert Ruiz is one of the top prospects in all of baseball, will be back with us. So, I mean, we're going to be loaded up front. Now, the Dodgers could blow that all up here this week in Vegas and trade about 4 or 5 of them. But as we sit here today, it's going to be an exciting April in Tulsa.
Wow.
You know, that's the thing that goes through my mind. How often, you've had great teams out there before.
Oh, yeah.
But how often will that many of them come back the next year?
It seems to be a tradition with the Dodgers because they love pushing their guys. They love advancing them quickly. So a lot of times we get this turnover in the middle of the season. So we get guys up to AA that are getting their first taste of it in the middle of July, and they only finish out playing 40, 45 games with us. Not quite enough at bats to promote them to AAA yet. So last year when we made it to the championship in 2017, didn't win it, but we had 13, 14 guys come back from that championship team. And that set the foundation for us to win it last year. And we're probably going to be in the same situation, 12, 13, 14 guys back to start.
Thinking back to that 17, it broke our hearts in 17.
Oh, we thought we had it.
Thought we had it, but to finish so strong in 18, just dominant there. It was fantastic.
Yeah, it was fantastic. We played our best ball at the end. And, you know, Scott, he's been with us, our manager, Hennessy, has been with us for 2 postseasons, and we made 2 postseason championship appearances with that guy. So we'll have to see if we can get a third one.
No chance he'll be moving on.
No, we know he's coming back. The Dodgers haven't officially announced that, so breaking news. I'm not going to let Trinidad break all the news.
There you go.
But he's coming back.
Excellent.
Good.
This affiliation with the Dodgers, we've had so many great Major League affiliates through the years of Tulsa baseball. This seems to really fit well, the Dodgers, and both in Oklahoma City and Tulsa.
Yeah, no, it's been a great match. You know, the first year of any new affiliation, when we were new with the Rockies, it was bumps in the road. You got to learn the new group. Same thing with the Dodgers. Year 2 was better. Year 4 was fantastic. But here's what I like to say: we've been around 42 years, 4 years with the Dodgers. In the 38 years prior to the Dodgers, we had our parent club go to the World Series once. We had 2 Rookies of the Year, and our parent club won their division only 3 times out of 38 years. With the Dodgers in 4 years, 2 World Series appearances, 2 Rookies of the Year, and 2 appearances in the World Series. So and 4 division championships.
And Scott Hennessy was invited by the Dodgers up to the postseason this past year, right?
He did. He was. I mean, if you watched him, he was on the sidelines in the dugout, and
great.
You know, he's going to be considered for a major league job before we know it. So let's enjoy him while we have him.
I think so.
That's exactly right. That's one thing why I asked that question, because he's done such a great job of blending that movement transition from player to player to player.
And that's a special talent. Gil.
It is. It really is to be able to put those kids together. And what relationship do we have with the Oklahoma City Club?
Oh, great relationship there. Michael Burns, their team president, my counterpart. I've known him for a lot of years. He used to be with the Frisco Rough Riders in our league, which is a Rangers affiliate. And so we have a great relationship with those guys. Obviously, from a player development standpoint, it's very advantageous for the LA Dodgers to have Tulsa and Oklahoma City. So we can see a lot of movement going in both directions. We send guys there to help them when their roster gets diminished. Then they send guys back to us. And it's great for their the roving instructors and their front office staff too to come and see both teams in one trip. So it's a great relationship, and I hope it's a long-term one.
Yeah. You know, one of the things that has impressed me so much about the baseball team is the fact that when you go out there, what you do for the kids out in the outfield with the new ballpark, and then you get into the seating area, and you find people as old as I am. I mean, they're high and low, and all of them are having a good time. That's got to make you feel good.
Oh, that's what it's all about, you know. I mean, we're there to. We used to call it a 9-inning getaway. We want everybody to come out there and get away. Everybody lives stressful lives, you know. Come out to the ballpark, enjoy 9 innings, socialize with your family, your friends, have a good time. But you're right. Minor league baseball is all about kids. And you know, young and old, everybody can come out and feel welcome. And whether the Drillers win or lose, we hope you have a good time.
And along with the Drillers, great season, of course, coming up. Some really special events coming to One Oak Field.
Absolutely. When we get to open at home this year, which we haven't in a few years, April 4th, it will be opening night at One Oak Field. But then we have Bedlam coming back on Friday, May 10th. So we're looking forward to that. That'll be always a great event. But the big marquee event for us next year is we've been selected to host the Texas League All-Star Game.
Wow.
So Tuesday night, June 25th, will be a real special night where some of the best prospects in the game of baseball are going to descend on Tulsa, and we'll have dignitaries from around the country coming in and showing off this great city.
And you pointed out you had a Heisman Trophy winner play last year.
Kyler Murray played on our field last year, and we hope that he'll be back in a couple of years with Midland. But this NFL thing might get in the way.
I know it.
So, and there's another big event over in Claremore.
That's right.
Yes. Baseball, the
January 14th.
Claremore Field of Dreams, and what a great opportunity it is for people to see some of the really Major League Baseball players.
Oh, it's a great event. Wayne McCombs puts that on. It benefits Claremore baseball from Legion all the way up to RSU, and it's one of the highlights on my calendar every year. I love going out to see him, and you know, Wayne's a big Yankees fan, so that makes me happy because I'm a Yankees fan. He's got Chris Chambliss. He's got Chris Chambliss coming in this year to talk those late '70s Yankees that won those World Series with Reggie Jackson. I can't wait to hear those stories.
I tell you, Mike, great to have you on. You feel warmer talking about baseball this time of year.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You got to warm it up.
April 4th, first pitch at One Oak Field, open the Texas League season as the defending champions, and the All-Star game coming up later in the summer.
And make sure you get some of Bricktown Brewery's brews.
There's no doubt about that. This one was free, but I'm going to come back.
There you go. That one is too.
Thank you, Mike. From baseball to cross-country, track and field, Steve Gully, the outstanding championship coach at the University of Tulsa, joins us right after this.
Great news. Primo Mitsubishi is again #1 in sales in Oklahoma. I've made some key changes. Next time you come in, you'll see some very familiar faces. Mitsubishi has increased discounts on all 2018 Mitsubishis. Save up to $3,000 on the all-new Eclipse Cross and up to $4,000 on other models. All Mitsubishis come with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Come see us at Primo Mitsubishi, 15309 South Memorial, or on the web at primomitsubishi.com.
If you haven't had an opportunity to read one of the Greater Tulsa reporters, I'd like to encourage you to pick up, let's say, the Jinx District Gazette. As an example, that's one of 6 that is put out by Forrest Cameron and his wife Sharon. But if you want to read something about sports, about government, about education, about economics, it's all right here in the GTR. So there are 6 of them in metropolitan Tulsa. I encourage you to pick up one today.
We're welcoming you back to Bricktown Brewery in South Peoria here in Tulsa, where, of course, Oklahoma Sportscene. Great to be joined by Steve Gully, the TU cross-country and men's track and field coach as well. Steve, congratulations on a great program. Give us some of your background. You've been TU for a long time, Steve.
I've been there 18 years now. So I had 15 years before at Baylor University, and then I got to actually come home. I'm a Tulsa boy. So when the Tulsa job opened up, I actually kind of did everything I can to get back here.
Well, you have some experience in cross country. You guys had great success at Union High School.
We did. We had 6 in a row with Jim Bradshaw when back in the day, and 6 state championships. And what a great sport, I think for kids that look at a lot of different things. We had a runner named Pat Vaughn, and Pat Vaughn tried everything in the world. Ended up in cross country, and of course ended up an All-American at Arkansas.
Wow.
Tremendous athlete. Yeah.
And your record at the University of Tulsa is just unbelievable. Now, I would like to know, where do you do most of your recruiting?
We actually try to stay local. So we've been very successful in the last 2 years with the local kids, but we do get a lot of international athletes. And right now, we actually had 3 athletes this last weekend compete at European Championships for England. So we get them from all over, actually.
2018, their TU cross-country team, by the way, won their 9th straight conference title, guys. And that, of course, is now 5th straight in the American Athletic Conference. It totally dominated that conference, as well as finishing the top 12. Second place finisher, Scott Beatty and Isaac Akers, your top freshmen in the conference, right?
Yes, absolutely. We were quite surprised. We had a streak. There is pressure. We'd won 8 in a row. I think this was probably the youngest team we took into a conference meet. So we didn't know what we would get because we didn't have any returners with a lot of experience. And I thought they had a great job. And I think it looks better for the future, especially getting through it this year with that young group.
The men also went on to the Midwest Regional, finished 3rd there, and then, Coach, 9th time in the last 12 seasons to the NCAA Championships. Talk about that, a cold time up there.
It was in Madison, Wisconsin. They've hosted 3 times, and we've had snow every time. We're real happy because we got there. It was something we weren't sure it was going to be possible due to our depth and how young our team was. But I think it looks good for the future. Our first 3 runners were actually sophomores and freshmen, so we're going to get some experience if we get back.
Yeah.
I think it's always interesting to look for next year. What does it look like for next year?
It looks good. I think the guys did a great job this year. We've always gotten better every year. It's just being in the system. If they get used to the training and the program, I think it's just experience. And the more you have experience, usually a little bit better luck.
Now, do you coach the men and women?
I coach the men and the women.
Is that pretty time consuming?
I'm head cross country, I'm head indoor, I'm head outdoor coach. I coach 6 sports. Yes, and you have to wear 2 different hats, as you know. Sure. Dealing with the females is different dealing with the males. Quite different.
You bet. So in your recruitment, what do you look for in a cross country runner?
I actually look for a competitor. That's something I can't coach in there. I can always create distance and endurance, but if a kid knows how to win, that's something I can't coach in them.
Women finished 2nd, and you got to be proud of that too, Coach.
I was very proud. They lost by 2 points.
Wow.
They were coming hard. I was extremely proud. Last year we were 4th. I think they gave us everything we could do. We just actually got beat. And I don't know if many coaches actually say that. The team ran better than we did that day, and we have most of them actually coming back too. So I feel very good on that.
Well, do you find that cross country is increasing in popularity in the state of Oklahoma?
Yes, I would. I would have to go that way. So I was raised in Tulsa, so I've seen it in the Tulsa public schools, and we're good, especially in the east part of the state. And then you have the Oklahoma City area. So yes, I think it is getting more popular, but it is a tough sport where a lot of people look at the sport as more of a disciplinary situation where we're going to make you run if you do something wrong. But I think there's a lot of kids that work hard, and I do see better runners in Oklahoma than I have in the past.
That's fantastic. So you don't really go out of state much.
Well, I would rather get the local. It's so much easier, and it helps us because if you build that base of getting the local runners, it helps you the next year. Absolutely.
Well, the championship's done in cross country. Now the track season's underway, Coach.
Yeah, we already opened up this last weekend, which is unusual, but it gives a chance for the sprinters that have worked all fall and the field event to do some. So we opened up this last weekend at Pittsburgh State. Then we will be off for Christmas break, and then we'll open back up at Arkansas, which we traditionally have done for the last 4 or 5 years.
Talk about your facilities at Tulsa for track and cross country as well.
We have a great track. So the track's been there 14 years, and it's made a big difference. We do not have an indoor facility. So we practice year-round outdoors, so we're kind of on that fine line to train, but it has worked. We've been successful, and we actually, I think, put out a pretty good indoor season, considering that we do not have an indoor facility.
So you do indoor and outdoor?
Absolutely,
Amazing. I tell you, Coach, congratulations. Tremendous success with the TU cross-country men's and women's track program. We want to let the viewers know about this program. It's one of those things that doesn't get a lot of publicity, obviously. These kids, they got a special mental toughness to run like these guys do. It's amazing, these ladies.
Absolutely. I think that the mental part is that what I would sell. I think it's 95% between your ears. They all have talent, but you got to go out there day in and day out, and it's not as much skilled as it is conditioning. So it's a lot of work. Use the example, our cross-country kids are in a 20-hour workout season the minute they get on campus till the minute they leave. They never actually have a break.
Wow.
And that is amazing, especially with the academic rigor at the University of Tulsa.
Well, we got something for you, Steve, for being with us today.
If you get a minute off, and you're here tonight, but here's from Bricktown, we want you to have a $25 gift card.
Thank you. I appreciate it very much.
Thanks for joining us, and congratulations again. Your son was a big part of this as well, right?
Yes, he's been with me 8 years. And I'm very fortunate to have my son work with me.
Great. Again, Dave Golly and the championship cross-country team. They're heading for indoor track season as well. So got to have them with us here on Oklahoma Sports Scene. We'll be right back with, I think, a special announcement coming right from the Tulsa Sports Commission. So stay with us. Oklahoma Sports Scene. We're at Bricktown Brewery in Tulsa.
Welcome to Jimmy's Egg. Come on in.
For more than 30 years, Jimmy's Egg has been starting people's day off right with hot, fresh, made-to-order food. Our eggs are fresh, cracked to order every time, and there are over 40,000 ways to craft your own omelet. With signature favorites like our meat lover skillet or decadent cinnamon roll pancakes, you won't leave hungry. Breakfast and lunch is available every day from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., so stop in today and let our friendly staff serve you.
Stop by and see us sometime.
Every minute, every day, and every night, there's someone who needs us. Every week and every year, we bring something new to the way we care for individuals and our communities. Every thought and every action is spent improving the way we imagine health and wellness. Because every child, every woman, and every man deserves the best possible life. St. Francis Health System. Healthcare for life.
Welcome back to Oklahoma Sports Scene, brought to you by Bricktown Brewery. Our special guest today is the Executive Director of the Tulsa Sports Commission, and he has a special announcement. Vince Trinidad.
All right, Vince, tell us what's going on.
Well, yesterday we announced that Tulsa will be extending the Big 12 Wrestling Championship.
All right,
excellent. We had put in a bid initially in 2016,
right,
17 and 18. And then we went ahead and asked for an extension, so they gave us 19 and 20. That was the announcement last year.
Right.
But then yesterday, the Big 12 and us announced at the BOK Center the extension from 21 through 24. Huge boon for us.
Fantastic.
So a total of 8 years of Big 12 wrestling in Tulsa.
Oh, fantastic. That'd be great for the conference, and I think great for Tulsa.
This is a hotbed for wrestling, certainly, although just the last Bedlam match didn't go too well.
Depends on which side you were on.
That's right. OSU, of course, so dominant in wrestling.
Yes.
They beat the Sooners 41-2. 41-2 in Bedlam at Stillwater, the largest deficit, I guess, in some 26 years. But what a power team they put together in Stillwater.
So some small little notes about the Big 12 Wrestling Championship is that there are only 4 schools from the Big 12 that actually wrestle in the Big 12 Wrestling Championship. Mm-hmm. So the other schools come from affiliate members. So they've had some additional schools that came in. San Jose State came in, Utah Valley, Air Force, the usual suspects.
Yeah.
And it makes this championship that much better of a championship, some quality wrestling that's coming in. And I think that maybe in a couple of years, you'll see some schools that will go ahead and give the powerhouses a run for their money.
And the dates of the next one coming up, when is it?
So it's always going to be the first week in March.
Okay, good.
So you're going to have that. So for us in 2019, you'll have the Big 12 Wrestling Championship for 19, and then 2 weeks after that, NCAA men's basketball first and second round.
That's going to be great, yeah.
Sports Commission is going to be busy.
It will be a little busy for us.
When you bring in the first and second round of the NCAA basketball tournament, after what you've done in wrestling, I mean, when you take a look at that, then it is really getting big in Tulsa.
It is. And so we've always had our eyes set on hosting the Division I Wrestling Championship. The NCAA bids these tournaments out there every 4 years. And so we have our eyes set on the future going forward. I hope maybe we can go ahead and host one of those. I can tell you that the commissioner last year, Bob Bowlesby, when he came into Tulsa and saw the setup that we had done for his Big 12 Wrestling Championship, first words out of his mouth, he goes, "I can see the NCAAs here." And for us, that's a validation of the team's effort, the BOK's effort, and Tulsa's effort to go ahead and put together a quality event. We always aspire to have a quality championship for them. And luckily enough, we have the great resources to go and do so.
Vince, what's our ticket situation for the NCAA first round, March 22nd and March 24th at the BOK?
So, usually Tulsa is about middle of the road, which is okay for us. And, for like anything, you can't go wrong, buy tickets.
Yeah.
And buy them for Christmas, buy them for...
online now available?
They're all online. Right. So you can go ahead and go to the BOK Center's website. You can buy everything online there.
Yeah. BOK is such a great facility. We're excited. The showcase is going to go back this year where the high schools will spend the day out there. But they do such a great job of helping you host the tournament, don't they?
They do. I mean, their leadership was the one that really said, we want to make a mark. on these types of events. We want to have these marquee sporting events, and not just the amateur things that we bring to them. They've had really some good successful with other events on the professional side as well. But when you take a look at the community's investment in those types of facilities, you get the BOK Center, you got One Oak Field. Those are difference makers in our community. And you take the path of the Big 12 Wrestling Championship. It started with the 2015 Big 12 Baseball Championship at One Oak Field.
Right.
So you have that as the foot point to go ahead and really move forward. And now we're going to be pretty much the home of Big 12 wrestling.
So you got Big 12 wrestling, you've got NCAA basketball, BMX, bicycle race. What else are we got?
Big 12 baseball.
Well, we're going to go ahead and, like anything, we're going to take a little break after everything is all said and done. But, we don't stop. I mean, we have the Mohawk Sports Complex, so we go ahead and have events out there as well. And then we'll take the Cox Business Center as well and Expo. So those are our main venues that we go ahead and program sporting events. But it really starts with community members that are involved in their sports. It's the coaches, that go ahead and dedicate their off hours when they're not working to their particular sport. And then we act as a resource to go ahead and help them fulfill a dream. It's a collective dream. We can't do it by ourselves.
Vince Trinidad, our Executive Director of the Tulsa Sports Commission. We got something for Vince here, right?
Vince, if you give me time, you guys don't have any time to come eat, but if you do, come back to Bricktown.
We appreciate it. Thank you so much for having me.
Vince, great job at Tulsa Sports Commission.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you.
But right back, we have a Remington report. We're going to talk some Thunder and some Oiler hockey as well, so stay with us.
Triple Crowns in the last 4 years have reawakened America to the magnificent thoroughbred. And now, we've got our own triple to celebrate. 3 decades of excitement. Don't miss the final stretch of Remington's 30th thoroughbred season with 2 special race days. Plus your chance at hot bets and bigger money bingo during the season closer and 400 grand springboard mile December 16th. Remington's 30th. Thoroughly thrilling.
We're back at Oklahoma Sportscene at the Bricktown Brewery in South Tulsa. And, of course, this weekend, December 16th, is the closing day of Thoroughbred Race Meet at Remington Park. Dale Day has a report for us and a preview of a big 2-year-old stakes race. And also a report about a group of race fans that got together and finally got themselves a winner.
One of the most thrilling races from a fan perspective took place this week on December 5 at Remington Park as Take Charge Easy, in a $7,500 claiming race, gave the 68 members of the Remington Park Racing Club an experience they will not soon forget. The RP Racing Club is in its 2nd year of existence. Through previous races, there have been plenty of in-the-money runs, but no victories. Take Charge Easy made his 3rd start for the club this season, coming down the stretch to the roars of his owners. 3rd and wide, trying to come back on. Take Charge Easy, 3 back and gaining. Crossbow Cimarron is 4th. In the stretch, furlong to go. Race on! Here comes Take Charge Easy. Take Charge Easy grabs the lead inside the furlong pole, trying to battle back and not doing so. Hard work, clean living outside Crossbow Cimarron. Membership has its privileges, and tonight the privileges winning Take Charge Easy wins it for the Remington Park Racing Club. The large group of RP Racing Club owners in attendance celebrated more in the winner's circle. Jockey Richard Aramia put an excellent ride on Take Charge Easy to gain the first victory in Remington Park Racing Club history. The $400,000 Springboard Mile, Remington Park's top 2-year-old race that carries qualifying points for the 2019 Kentucky Derby, drew 58 nominations for the December 16th event. Epic Dreamer, an impressive maiden winner at Belmont Park in late October, arrived at Will Rogers World Airport in Oklahoma City on December 4th for trainer Kelly Breen. Epic Dreamer came in via Tex Sutton's Air Horse 1 in plenty of time to acclimate to the Remington Park surface and Oklahoma City's December weather. A quick reminder of the final week of race dates at Remington Park, with action on Monday and Tuesday, December 10th and 11th at 3 p.m. No live racing on Wednesday or Thursday, December 12th or 13th. The final 3 days of the season pick up on Friday and Saturday, December 14th and 15th at 7 p.m., with the Springboard Mile program on Sunday, December 16th at 3 p.m. Get ready to enjoy the final few race dates of the season at Remington Park and get set for that big Springboard Mile Day on Sunday, December 16th. At Remington Park in Oklahoma City, I'm Dale Day. Now back to Sports Scene.
Thank you, Dale. I'm looking forward to being over at Remington Park this Sunday, December 16th, for the Springboard Mile, the $400,000 Grade 2 race for 2-year-olds. And Scott Wells, their president and general manager, will be here on the next Sports Scene show to wrap up the meet there. All right, guys, let's keep it in the Oklahoma City area for the Thunder.
one of the largest comebacks in the history of the Thunder. 23 down, and they come back in that ball game and win 114-112 with Brooklyn. Then they play Chicago the next night, and talking to Billy Donovan, hearing him talk this morning on the radio, he was absolutely beside himself, said about the intensity. They've just got to keep that intensity on defense. They played so well, even with the 114-112. He felt their intensity was there, and they lost it the next night at Chicago.
And they got road games, Utah, then the 12th in New Orleans, then the 4th Denver, and finally coming back home, JV.
Well, when they're playing in Oklahoma City, they are almost now unbeatable. And I think that's been such a strange way they started the season. They didn't look very good. But after 4 games, then suddenly they caught fire. And now, I don't care who comes in there. They're going to lose in Oklahoma City.
The L.A. Clippers come in December 15th. Then the Chicago Bulls make a trip back on the 17th. And Sacramento Kings on the 19th. So some good Thunder basketball coming up.
Good Thunder basketball.
Our Oilers have been on the road for a long time, too, Coach. 7 games.
They started that 8 games at home.
Yeah,
now they've been on the road for 7 games.
No different.
And they've lost 4 in a row. It's kind of tough being on the road and playing hockey every other night, travel on the buses and everything. So hopefully when they come back, the next home game is not until the 22nd with Kansas City of December. So hopefully they'll get through this road thing and with Cincinnati and Indianapolis and then at Kansas City. And that's the tough thing. They play at Kansas City on the 21st and they come back and play in Tulsa on the 22nd.
Well, the great thing about hockey is the fan base in Tulsa is unbelievable.
Fantastic.
The way they support, win or lose.
That's right.
They're there supporting the team.
They like that old-time hockey.
Oh, yeah, I love it.
Good home schedule, though. December 22nd, as Coach mentioned, with Kansas City. We have Wichita December 27th, and Kansas City coming up after that, too. So also next on our next Oklahoma Sportscene show, we'll have someone from the Oilers here to talk about the hockey so far.
Coach Murray and hopefully some of his players along with their play-by-play.
They've been, of course, battling for first place pretty much throughout this season, Coach, doing well.
They really have, and they got so close last year to having the kind of team they wanted, and I think they've got the right mix now. If they can get off the road, they'll be in good shape.
So hockey coming up on the next Sports Scene show. When we come back, get ready for our parting shots. Once again, we want to thank our hosts, Bricktown Brewery here in South Peoria in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And again, wrap up some of their big features. Remember, 7 Twisted Comfort Foods coming up. You got a sample of some of that with the fantastic-looking grilled cheese sandwich, special one there with the tomato soup. And of course, you saw Coach Alexander enjoying the short rib dinner. Also, to remind you that, again, that the Christmas Ale taps on Thursday, the 13th. Special prices there, special events as well. And we'll also remind you, we'll have gift cards as well. Ho, 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 the season for Bricktown Brewery. Always in season here at Bricktown Brewery. All right, guys, parting shots. Gil Cloud leads us off.
I want to congratulate the Bowl Championship Committee and the Heisman Committee. I got on them last week to make sure that they picked the right people. I think they did. The only change I would make with the Bowl Championship, I just don't think Notre Dame was in that group. I think Georgia should have been in there with that group. Otherwise, we got Oklahoma in, which was good. They deserved to be there with the record they had and beating everyone on their schedule. And, of course, I think the last day of the regular season with the championship series proved to be what we thought. And Kyler played as well as he could, and Tua got injured during the game, and Jalen had to come in and save what Tua saved a year ago. So the right one won the Heisman Trophy. We have 4 good teams in the playoff. I'm looking forward to the college playoff series.
We lost one of our outstanding coaches this last week, and I'm referring to John Scott, who lived in Sapulpa but spent 19 years as an athletic director at Owasso High School. He also was a coach, coached up in Kansas, coached at Sapulpa, but recently, and through the illness that he had, he parted from us last week. And we certainly would like to recognize the fact that he was such a great person for all of the people involved in athletics. And for 19 years to be an athletic director, and to do what he has done and get the recognition that he has gotten. And we just want to wish he and his family the very best, and the final services will be in Sapulpa at the First Presbyterian Church on the 10th of this month.
Thank you, Coach. I want to recognize the University of Oklahoma. They continue their incredible football tradition by Kyler Murray winning the Heisman Trophy, the 84th Heisman Trophy in New York this past week. He became the 7th Sooner to win the prize award. That ties Oklahoma with Ohio State and Notre Dame as the top teams in terms of Heisman Trophy winners. Also, of course, it adds to the Oklahoma legacy of quarterbacks. Baker Mayfield, 2017, now Kyler Murray, 2018. How'd you like to be Lincoln Riley, going to recruit into a prospect's home and say, you want to play quarterback? How'd you like to win the Heisman Trophy and go on to the championship semifinals? That's all Lincoln Riley's done in 2 years. So, Boomer Suter, congratulations on a great season for OU and a great individual award for Kyler Murray. And guys, he truly did earn it, though. My gosh.
I don't think there's any question. He could beat you with his legs. He could beat you with his arm. He could beat you with his brain. What a great leader. And to set out really last year like he had to, when he thought he was going to play, because Baker gets that extra year and didn't know he was going to get it.
Right.
But what a great benefit to both of them. I think it helped Baker mature a little bit. And I think Kyler learned from him in that process.
You're going to appreciate some of these great Heisman Trophy winners we had in the past. JB, of course, thinking back to Billy Bessel's 1952. We had, of course, coming up then Steve Owens, Miami, Oklahoma, 69. Billy Sims in 78. The next four would be quarterbacks, those first three running backs. We go to Jason White, Tuttle High School, Putnam City, Sam Bradford, then Baker Mayfield and Tyler Murray. What a combination.
Well, that's a great combination, and I tell you, I don't think anyone thought the OU quarterback would win it when the season started.
Yeah.
But when the season ended, yes, he was the only one.
They're going to have to get busy with the statues.
That's right.
Yeah.
They're behind.
They got to put two up now. It's right. Baker Mayfield and Kyler Murray all getting a chance to have their trophies up, their statues up in Heisman Garden. All right, guys, looking at the next week, Scott Wells, the president and general manager of Remington Park, comes over to wrap up their incredible Remington season. Roughnecks general manager and head coach here. You've got a good friend, Tony Winters, coming over.
Tony Winters, a good friend of ours who has been the general manager out at the Mabee Center for many, many years. Works a lot with the Activities Association and with us, with the Tulsa Public Schools, with the Tournament of Champions.
And your guy, Mick Wilson, is going to join us, right?
Mick Wilson is going to come and tell us a little bit about the Tournament of Champions. Right now, we have more number one teams in the bracket than we've had in the last 7 years. It's amazing.
Don't want to miss that, Coach.
Oh, that's incredible to have that many, Gil.
December 27th to 29th, the ORU Mabee Center, the Tournament of Champions. We'll talk much more about that next time we visit you on Sportscene. Hope you enjoyed it here at Bricktown Brewery. We've had a great time. Don't forget, come enjoy some of that Christmas ale on Thursday. Special things there. See you next time.